Hi, Francesca. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are
I'm
you?
amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak to the work that we did together. My first question for you is, how were you feeling or what was your life like before we started to work together?
Wow, it seems like so long ago, but it really wasn't. And I say that because so much has happened since. When I met you, I was probably still just loving the fact that I was separated, but still felt a lot of loss, a lot of feeling not in the right direction, having some issues with family and my children. So there was a lot going on, and I really wanted to focus in on just one-on-one coaching. I had been working in a group setting and I wasn't feeling I was getting enough for me. And I know I had a lot of work to do around what had happened in the past and where I wanted to go moving forward.
Mhm. And you were sort of recently separated, and there were some like serious challenges around that relationship and how you guys were communicating or not communicating. um,
And understanding, he's a narcissist and how to deal with that, and then how to raise my children as a single parent with that on the side,
mhm.
and just navigating that whole process was, yeah, where I was at, and having a lot of conflicts with my family, a lot of conflicts with my children, and just feeling totally losing it. I was just losing it, and nothing was working.
Yeah. And you have aspirations in your romantic life and aspirations in your professional life. Can you speak to those a little bit more?
I really felt my professional life was in the right direction. I had just got back from a great trip of a lifetime, 2 weeks in Sicily, 2 weeks in Bali. I've always manifested that trip to Bali, and I came back and was so energized by it. Work's going great, and that's really where I thought I needed to focus my work with you on. But you you kept redirecting me back to, no, I think there's a lot more that we need to work on in regards to your relationships before you can really move forward in your work and all the things that you want to do. And as much as I tried to bring you into that goal, you kept pulling me back. And I think that was really good that you were able to do that, because I think that really is the key to being successful, is just fixing all that mess that I had before in order to really move forward on that. Yeah, and things are happening in that regard too right now. So I'm very excited to share updates with you.
Yay! I can't wait to hear. So, what were your most significant areas of growth?
You and I first met because we did the human design together.
Hmm.
And one of the things that you were very open to was looking at my kids' human design. And that really has helped, because I felt, like I said, my daughter and I had a relationship that was butting heads constantly. And now understanding her design and my design and how we can try and work together, I think that's been huge for us. And really just understanding where she's coming from. I mean, my son's the same, but now trying to work with them in their design has, I think, been a significant change of growth. The other area is my family and the relationships that I want to have moving forward, and taking a different approach. So I used to be in that fractured masculine, fractured feminine for so long, and just understanding, where I was coming from and how it wasn't helping. So I've done a lot of healing around that and taking a different approach. And the boundaries piece too was one area I did not have in my life. And there's been some really good things that have come out of me really standing in what I want and setting those boundaries with clients, with love relationships, and my family.
Hmm. Yeah, let's talk about boundaries for a quick second. So, what was it like to, if you think of like one or two scenarios, what did your life feel like when you didn't have those boundaries? And did you know that the drama or the chaos or whatever you want to call it that you were experiencing was a lack of boundaries? Was that obvious to you?
It wasn't at the time, but once I heard the word boundaries, I went, what are those? Like, I had no idea because I never learned them from my family or other relationships. And I realized once we kind of talked about it and what does it mean and how to set it properly, that I really hadn't been able to express what I wanted in my life and just let other people control that, I guess, to a certain extent, that I would just go with the flow and say, yeah, okay, I guess I have to go in their direction, when really, no, that's not what I want to do. And be more clear in what I want, and I wasn't able to express what I wanted. So I've really done a lot of work with you on that, and using my throat chakra and what does it mean to express a boundary clearly and with love.
And lovingly, graciously. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And I'm so happy that, this work enabled you to, open up compassion and love and understanding with your family members, coupled with the boundaries, allows you personally to feel safe in that, because we can't change other people, but we can change ourselves and our reaction and our responses to that. And like, have you found that peace has brought you peace?
It has. So I guess I can share with you a recent story that maybe you haven't heard, but my relationship with my family, in my opinion, isn't wonderful. I mean, it's there, but it's not what I would have wanted in a family relationship or dynamic. My mom got really sick about a month ago, and I decided, because we are such a distance apart from each other, that I felt and I knew in my heart that she'd be okay. She didn't need me to rush down to be by her side. My brother was there, my sister was there, and I just felt in that time that I didn't need to go. I was feeling like I was being guilt or shamed to go, and I didn't feel that that wasn't what I wanted. And so I told them, I called her every day. I checked in with her, see how she was doing. And I'm here now, when it felt good and ready for me to come down.
That's amazing, because that guilt and shame is the thing that pulls us out of our inner knowing of what's right for us. And because like we don't want to be seen as the person who's not contributing to the person who's like struggling or suffering or sick or whatever. So that's really deep work. That's really deep work. Good for you.
And I'm trying to have conversations around that, like why I didn't come,
Mm,
and asking, are you okay that I didn't come? Here's why I didn't come.
yeah.
So I have a few more conversations still to have, but I'm feeling much more open and calmer as well, instead of feeling like, I have to go and I missed this and I did get it and I said like I saw that. I was like that. Like you always talk about that car accident. I saw that car accident, that I'd be pissed off that I came all this way. And all I did is sit in the hot. Like, I mean, there was a lot of things. And so I just like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I can't feel that. That's just not going to be good for me or her or everyone else.
Right. I love that awareness, because it's like you could see. So previous version of you would have had all that anger and resentment, right? And like, "Ugh," and then gone. And then the energetics would have been like not great. And you would have been betraying yourself. And then when we betray ourselves, it's worse. It like chips away at our self-worth and our esteem and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that, which is brilliant. This is the toughest part of this work, is putting our need, our ourselves ahead of whatever is going on over there, even though we really feel obligated, or we want to, because we're good people. We're
Mm-hmm.
generous people, we want to give and we want to be there. But having that awareness around what it would do to you personally, you wouldn't be good for them there at that point.
No, I am now. I'm here
You are
today.
now.
I am now.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. Yay. Oh, this is like the work in action.
There's more. That's just one example.
I want to hear more. I would love to just touch on your work success. Somebody watching this might be, a professional just like you. You're in the financial industry and you do really great work. You advocate for women in finances and for them to be empowered in that, right? And you were saying earlier that you wanted to work on the work, and I kept bringing you back to the relationships because I could see the scaffolding there was rickety. And it's like,
Yes.
well, in order for you to be able to empower these women, you need to have that empowerment here. And then that's just going to shine through, because that's your gift is that's your purpose, is to help these women with their scaffolding in their finances, and particularly in terms of independence with their finances. And I love that. So it's not just like work, it's also a purpose, it's a mission. And you write
Absolutely.
a book, you're doing so many amazing, wonderful things. So I would love to hear a little bit about like how that relational work ended up impacting your business in terms of like maybe clients coming in or money or whatever you want to share, where you did have good results or amazing results, but also your purpose and aligning with your purpose and being in that and being able to serve.
Well, I think it's just becoming more clear on my purpose. And it also has been a way to just get more power within myself and understand where I'm coming from. So you really helped me show that I am a manifest generator with emotional authority. And I don't know if you remember this. I said, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And I had no idea what that meant. And you gave me some really great examples. And I've really been working into that and trying to guide myself through that emotional authority. Does this make me feel good? And if it doesn't make me feel good, I need to make a decision and go in that right direction.
Yeah.
And I've really been working through that, still working through that. And I had, it's just peeling the layers, right, of all this stuff that's holding me back for so long. And where I can now feel I'm just being present with my clients. And I think as small as that may seem, I think it has a huge impact because I'm listening to them. I'm making notes. I'm understanding them. I can share with them and be vulnerable with my experience. And I notice a big shift in that I'm not just that financial advisor. I'm also someone like them and have gone through the same, whether issues, struggles, challenges. And then there's a connection there. And they refer me to other clients. I have referrals still coming. And I was able to meet David Chilton, which I've manifested for 2 years, and just not being ashamed of anything of who I am, and just go for it, make those moves, keep moving forward, make the decisions. And I don't have that stuff holding me back. There's still lots of growth in that area, though. I will say that.
Well, there always is. It's a spiral staircase. And so every time we
Yes.
hit a new level, we hit a new issue. It's the same issue. It's just a different version of that issue. And then we get to clear it. But when you're on this path and you see and you have that awareness, like of your design or of your patterns or whatever it is, of your history, and that your shadows, then like as you're going around, you're like, oh, here it is again. And you can see it so much clearer and you process through it way faster. And
Yes.
so that you can like have that visibility, you can have that clarity in your throat, and receiving. We have such a hard time receiving. Like we're like, we want all this success, and then it's like, oh, but no thanks.
So true.
You
So
got
true.
so beautiful in receiving and
Yes.
asking for what you wanted when you were dating. And, I remember you watching yourself going, wow, look at me not asking for what it was that I needed, in that dating scenario. And then seeing how you responded to what was going on there as well. You were in beautiful observation around that. I love it. So If there was a woman sat in front of you who was the version of you when you first came in, if you can remember how that felt, what would you say to her about this kind of work or working with me and, peeling these layers and looking at the stuff and being courageous and brave to like step into ownership and personal responsibility and looking at the shadows and all of that? Like, what would you say to her about moving forward in this kind of work?
As most women, perhaps like myself, who you probably could so relate to, is that you just feel like you're stuck. There's nowhere to go. Like you're just spinning and nothing's happening and you're stressed out. You just don't, like, I was almost like at my wit's end. Like I'm just done. And it was just to be real with yourself. Like I got real with myself, of recognizing who I was, what I wasn't accomplishing or what I wasn't doing, what I needed, what I wanted, and just taking that time. Like it was just the time, you and I, to be real. I mean, you let me cry, you let me take time to breathe, and just to be able to be myself, I think was.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're beautiful as you are.
I think you allowed, you allowed me just to be me in that moment, and I hadn't felt that in a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Here she comes. Yeah, just to be me and work through what does me mean and what does she need and how she can get through it. And just keep building on that strength, which has been amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, because we've been taught that it's not safe to be us. All of our unique, weird quirks and abilities and all of that um, gets somehow shamed or silenced or something at
Yeah,
some.
I'm not sure if it's safety for me. I think it was just not feeling loved, not feeling like
Mhm.
I am important, because I'm a mom, I'm a financial advisor, I was a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend. And it's like, where was me the whole time?
Yeah.
And so it's just coming back to, like you said, it's not being selfish anymore. It's being real in that I have needs and I'm important and I want to do what I want to do and do that from a wonderful place of
Yeah.
love and kindness and clarity. It's been a lot of clarity, which has been amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. Clarity in your needs.
And that I'm not to voice it properly. That's always been my other issue, and I'm still working on that, making sure I'm doing it with loving kindness and coming from a place of discernment and just being real
Mhm.
and not being like, "Arr," which I used to be.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and that is still in there, and
yeah,
will come out, and but that's the thing, that's the journey, and then the next time you see her, like you did with what you were saying before about going and visiting your mom, like she came out like rah, so that's your body's cue
Mhm.
that a boundary is being crossed, or you're about to betray yourself, you know and I think it's a beautiful awareness, because it's don't get rid of that part, because it's like telling you
Yeah,
like no. It's like
yeah.
your protector, your inner Kali.
Yeah, and she's here, and it's like, okay, why, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
why are you back in that
yeah.
mode or frame of mind or reaction? And it just gives me time to just say, okay, just sit with it. And I I had another experience recently, and you were telling me how to do the breathing from your pussy, if I say that word.
Yeah.
And I had something happen, and I just started crying with the text message that I got, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like, it was overwhelming feeling, and I'm like, okay, don't be overwhelmed. I sat outside in the sun and I just did that breathing like you were telling me all through my chakras. And I just sat with it and I sat with it. And it all became clear within like 5 or 10 minutes of just this breathing and grounding myself and just sitting with it. It all came clear. And I'm like, yep, there's my decision. And I sent the person a message and I made my decision. And it was a really good thing. And it just opened to another door of something wonderful. So I was very happy that you helped me walk through those exercises during our time together.
Yeah, it's practical tools to walk away with. I love that. So, what do people need to know about my coaching style? Because I know I have a very unique flavor.
Gosh. There's a lot there. I think one of the things that really um, caught my attention or made you different is that you go with where I'm at. You're not trying to push me in a direction or giving me advice that doesn't sit well. Like it always seems to land exactly where I needed it to land. And if I went on a tangent, you went with me. Um, and you were very open to the fact that no, Francesca, it's not about your work, it's about the relationships that we need to work on. And so that was like, huh, I didn't even see that. So you're very intuitive and insightful to I guess things that I'm unaware of, which is why you do what you do, right? It's why I'm here with you and why we're working together. Is to see those things that I can't see and release it or unblock it or work through whatever it is that I'm dealing with. You
Yeah.
have some great advice too. Great advice that I'm grateful I took and was open with you with the situations. And then you were able to help me and walk me through it, which is wonderful too.
Mhm. Yeah, I love being able to be the space that women like you just don't have elsewhere.
Absolutely.
It's like you don't feel that there's a space to be like pure and raw and real and open and ugly and blah and feel accepted in that to be able to
'Cause-
get underneath it.
right. Because you can talk to your friends, but the flip side is there's no real good, solid, I guess, advice or coaching, right? And that's where you come in. You can talk to a partner, which I didn't have. Again, they just have no clue. Like, and you just go, like you said, really deep and underneath. And you have to be open to work through that because look, I cried every time we met, but that was just because that was me. And I needed to.
I loved it. I loved it. It was always such a beautiful release.
Absolutely.
It was clearing. It's like the rain, it just watered you. And do you have any parting words for any woman watching this right now?
Don't hesitate, just do it. Why are you waiting to not have a life that you want?
Ooh, tell me about that. What's the life?
I just feel freer, clearer, and those boundaries. I mean, I've been doing a lot of boundaries that I'd never done before. And as much as it was painful at the time, it's always been amazing on the flip side of what's come out of it. And it's like, damn, I wish I'd known this whole time in my life, and I never did. So that was awesome. It'll continue to be awesome.
Mhm. Amazing. Wow. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing about your experience working with you and being so vulnerable, sharing this with the world out there. So people can see and understand that there is work involved in doing this, and there
Mhm.
is some difficulty and there is some discomfort, but then on the other side of it, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, life is just amazing. Like I can't, and I know it's going to get even better. It's just
Yeah.
scratching the surface, and I'm so grateful that we've been able to do this work, and yeah, I love it.
Yay, me too. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Krisha, for everything. I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.